This is my crash damaged, non-runner Mercedes A-Class that I bought off Salvage auction. I bought this car as a category S structural damage and it doesn't even run. According to the auction listing, the car won't start, and that's a big problem. The thing with auction is you're buying completely blind. You never really know what you're getting into. It could be something small or something seriously major, and the passenger wheel doesn't even sit straight. And later in the video, I'll give you an update on the Range Rover Sport where the keys just completely stopped working in the last video. Incorrect smart key detected. Let's get straight into this build, and there's two reasons what really made me want to buy this car. But first, let's talk about how nice does this car actually look. It's got the AMG front grille, and the car itself is blacked out. It's got the black alloy wheels, it's been de-chromed, and from the rear it's got the AMG quad exhaust tips. The previous owner wanted it to look like an AMG A45, and they've done a good job of that because it does look like it, but it's not. And that's because it's got a 2-litre diesel engine. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted it. I know it's not an AMG engine, but it's a 2-litre diesel. It's a proper Mercedes engine. It's not like the 1.3 Renault engines that come on most of these cars. And we'll get to the second reason why I really wanted this car. But first, the car has arrived now, and the first thing we need to do is get this engine running. So if you've seen my older videos, you know what we're going to do now. We're going to first plug the OBD tool in, clear the crash data on this car, because obviously with the airbags being deployed, it has gone into crash mode. So we'll clear the code first, see if the engine runs. Normally is with these A-Class and the CLAs a pyro fuse, which sits just underneath here. Just like our older videos, there should be a pyro fuse here, but this one doesn't have it. Okay, we're in the ECU module now. So all we need to do, because go into special functions, we've done this a few times on this channel, so you probably know what I'm going to do next. Enabling of engine start after crash event, that's what we need. I've tried to enable it, but it says the procedure was not completed successfully. We've cleared the crash data on this car 3 times, and on the 3rd time it said it was successful. So I'm hoping the car will turn on now. It did something, and now it's going crazy. I mean, the battery here is actually on 11 volts, so we need more power to the car. The car will not turn on 11 volt battery. Okay guys, the engine is on now. All we've done is we put the new battery on there, we put a jump starter on there. As we can see, the battery is still not good, it was just flashing, and we've cleared the crash data and the car's on. Let's carry on with the build. Now the car's here, let's have a look at the damage, and straight away we can see that the front bumper has been hit. I mean, the lower half is completely missing, so we do need a new front bumper. You can also see the washer jet here is broken, it's completely cracked. I mean, we definitely need a new one. The headlight is broken, and this is the expensive headlight, it's not the cheap one, so we need to replace that as well. The wing is damaged, but what I'm worried about is the wheel. The wheel is clearly buckled, it's gone in this way. So either the shock absorber behind it is damaged, either the lower arm is damaged, something's not right, and we need to take the wheel off to really see what's going on. I mean, having a look here, the door is damaged, that's not worth repairing, it's too far gone. I mean, we can see here, it's completely gone in, and it's lost its shape completely. I mean, having a look at it from this angle, it's going in and out, so yeah, we definitely need a new one. Same for the rear door, it's slightly better condition, and we can possibly see if we can repair it, but I'd rather find the door in the same color and get that replaced. The quarter panel needs some work as well, that's been hit. That's all gone in here, rear bumper has gone in. The rear bumper will need some work, but apart from that, the back looks okay. Actually, I noticed there's a chip on the back light, so we also need a new backlight. We can't keep it like that. Let's have a look at the other side. The quarter panel is also hit on this side as well, so that will also need some work, and potentially the door, or maybe we could polish this out, but we will need to check. The front door is, oh nope, that's not okay as well. We've got, oh wait, is it okay? Or is it, what the hell happened here? You know, that definitely needs some work here. I mean, this looks like it's been dented in. I don't know if we can tell. Actually, there's a dent here. See, we can see it from this angle. There's a dent here. And the second reason with what really made me want to buy this car is the specs. This car is a premium plus. So what that means is we've got a full virtual dash, we've got the ambient lighting, we've got the memory seats over here, we've got the panoramic sliding sunroof, basically full specs. And we've got a spec sheet up here, and you can see it's a long list. But obviously we've got the steering airbag out, we've got the curtain airbag out just here, and all the seatbelts are gone. The service history is not bad either. I mean, I can see it was last done on the 28th of October 2024 at 22,000 miles, and then one before at 13,000 miles. We're on 56,000 miles now. So this is it. So it needs a service. I'm not sure what happened, why no one has done it in the past 30,000 odd miles, but we need to service it. And if you want to get a service history check and a factory spec sheet, it's only $7.99, and you can do that on fullcarchecks.co.uk. I've left the link in the description. Now, let's carry on with this car. Let's get ready to rumble. I've got my screw box as well. We're going to put all our screws in here so we don't lose anything. Let's go. We've taken off the front bumper now, and what I'll do is I'll take off the wing as well because that's damaged, and then we can see the whole area clearly, and then we can work on the wheel. There we go. This one's smashed. Good thing is the ballast looks okay, because if the ballast is fine and when we put this on a new headlight, we don't need to reprogram it. We'll just open the ballast now because I just want to see that there's no damage to it. Usually you'll be able to tell by just looking at the pins if there's any water damage, but this looks okay. It looks clean, so I'm gonna have to save this. It's good news. Taking off the front bumper and the wing, and we can now see the damage a bit better. And the good news is the slam panel looks okay. As you can see here, it's all intact. This one piece going across to the other side, it's all in place. It's not damaged or cracked anywhere. The chassis arm here is also sits perfectly fine. It's not been hit, there's no damage. Even to the pillar, there's no damage there. So that is good news. What we do need to change is the washer bottle, is the lower tray, is some plugs here that's damaged. This wire is cut off, but that's okay. Once we get to it, we'll figure it out. But my biggest worry is now is this wheel. We need to see why it's sitting bent. As we can see here, it's sitting buckled just like this, whereas the other side, it's sitting perfectly fine. Take this wheel off and let's see what's going on. The wheel is off now, so we can take a better look to see exactly what's wrong. And from this side, I can't see any damage whatsoever. The underarm looks okay, the hub looks okay, but what I can see is here. I can see the suspension arm, the shock absorber is bent here. From this angle, we can see where the problem is, because the hub from here is sitting up and this side is sitting down. So it's tilted just like this. So it looks like it's the shock absorber that's bent, the lower part of it. And for me to replace that, I need to take off the drive shaft, this one here, the lower arm. Basically everything here needs to drop down so this shock absorber can come down and out. So let's go and do that. Drive shaft is out now, so we're almost there. The hub is loose. What we need to do is unbolt here and the shock absorber will become loose, and then we could drop it down and then it should come out. Guys, we're almost there. I think one last bang with this hammer, this hub will fall off the shock absorber and then we can replace it. I've tied it up just so that if it does land on the floor, it doesn't damage any other bits. And I just had a thought, once this car is repaired, there'll be no way to really tell how bad the damage was. I mean, we will never be able to see that the wheel was buckled. But if you do a history check with Full Car Checks, it will tell us if the vehicle has been put for a salvage auction like this one. And if it has, in most cases, you'll see the damaged photos. And I'll share a discount code that will give you a completely free car history check
Stay tuned as I will give out the code later on the video.
There we go, just like that. The hub is out and the shock absorber is now loose. And we can see, look how bent that looks. 100% that is the reason why the wheel was buckled. Boom, and that's all done now. The wheel sits straight, I'm happy with it. The issue was this shock absorber here. You can clearly see from the bottom half, it's bent here, which caused the alloy to sit like this. So yeah, that's all good now. What I do need to do is, I do need a new alloy. That's curbed all over, it's damaged. Tire as well, we do need a new tire. I've ordered that, so I'm waiting for those to come in. And now we're done with that. And now it's time for the dashboard. The good thing is, in our previous videos, we worked on a CLA and we had to change the dashboard on that car too. And the CLA dashboard and the A-Class dashboard is pretty much the same thing. So this should be straightforward, but it's not just the dashboard. We've got the steering airbag, the knee airbag, all 4 seat belts, and the curtain airbags on the passenger side. But on the driver side, the curtain airbags hasn't been deployed. I mean, that kind of makes sense because the damage was on the passenger side. Even the rear quarter panel on the driver's side has also been hit, but it's not strong enough to deploy the airbags. You get me? We're almost done with the dashboard. I've got a few more bolts. I need to take those out and the dashboard should come out. And I've also replaced the auxiliary battery, which sits just underneath the center console. That's because when I first turned on the car, there was an auxiliary battery warning on the dash. What that normally means is this battery is gone. We had the same issue on the CLA, so I didn't want to waste time. I bought a new one. They're very cheap and I've just put it in. So that's sorted and this can go in a bin.
Another plug. There we go. Okay.
There we go guys, the dashboard is out. And I'm not going to waste any more time. We'll get the new dashboard, we'll put it on and we'll carry on with this build. Let's go. And this is our new dashboard. And the good thing is, this already has the ambient lighting and we can see the strip over here. Otherwise, we will need to change all the wiring across. But that's good. This one has it, saves us time. We could carry on with it.
So we are almost done with the inside. I still have all 4 seatbelts I need to change and the passenger curtain airbag. But we need to wait for the parts to come in.
Okay guys, I want to touch on the Range Rover Sport. And in the last video, we almost completed the build, but we come across an issue. The key stopped working. When I bought the car, the key was perfectly fine. I was able to go back and forward, left and right. I know the key was working. And then all of a sudden it completely died. Incorrect smart key detected. So it looks like it's just not reading the key anymore. But I have an update. In the last video, we couldn't get this car running. And I asked you guys for help to see why it just wouldn't run. And thanks for your recommendations, we've managed to get 2 people out to view this car. And I'm going to tell you if we fixed the problem or we still haven't. So the first guy that came down, he looked at the car and he said, oh, most of your modules are not responding. And based on that, you might have an electrical problem. We had to strip down the car again, check all the wiring and all the fuses, but there was nothing there. So everything looked fine. But he said, your KVM module is not responding and your transmission module is not responding. And that's true because on our OBD, we had the same thing. So the car stripped down, we looked everywhere. I couldn't find anything wrong. No cut wires, no fuse blown, everything looked fine. So I thought to myself, it had to be something to do with the modules, with the KVM module specifically. So the next person that came along, he looked at the car and what he said was interesting. He said that your modules are reading, but when it gets to the KVM module, which is this, there's no response. So the first thing that we had to do was take this KVM module out, put a new KVM module in and program new keys to the car. And we did that and the car now starts. The engine is running fine. Everything is working. There's no errors in the dashboard apart from the washer fluid and the pressure tire, but everything else looks okay. And it cost us £1,400. It fixed our problem, even though it was such a costly mistake. And that's all because I jump started the car. When you get a car, especially these Range Rovers, they're very sensitive. And we jump started the car over 10 times on a flat battery. And because of that, it fried the KVM module. And we was lucky it didn't damage any other modules because that would have just cost us significantly more.
Let's see the before and the after.
There we go, the car is complete. And how good does that look? It looks absolutely stunning. But after we fixed the keys on this car, I had to go and change the subframe as well because the subframe was also damaged. And after the subframe, I thought we're done. I thought the car's ready to go. But we had another issue. The car will go completely flat overnight. We will close the doors, lock everything up, but it will still die. It will go completely flat. We changed the batteries 3 times actually, still no good. But what I figured out the problem was, I had somebody come down, take a look at the car, and what they did was they updated all the modules to the latest version, and that fixed the problem strangely. So we upgraded all the modules, and now the car is okay. So maybe there was some misconfiguration somewhere across several modules, but regardless, that fixed the problem, and now the car is lovely, no issues whatsoever.
And as I mentioned earlier, I'll tell you guys how to get a completely free car history check. And I've got a special discount code that will give you a completely free car history check. All you need to do is go on fullcarchecks.co.uk, the link is in the description, and create an account. It takes about a minute, it's completely free, very quick. And then go onto the homepage, enter any registration plate you would like, and click on the full check and enter the discount code IBSFIX100. And that'll give you a completely free car history check. So if your car's been written off, if it's been stolen, keep history, salvage details, finance, it's all included.
Okay guys, that's all I have for this video. I'm still waiting for some parts to come in. We're waiting for the panels, waiting for the doors, I'm waiting for some seat belts, a curtain airbag. So we've got a few things that we're waiting on. And in the next video, we're going to complete this car and take this car out of here to bodywork and get the final shots. Stay tuned for that guys. And again, thank you so much for watching. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.